December 31st, 1983. While the world prepared to welcome a new year, Nigeria stood on the edge of something else entirely. A military coup was underway. The streets of Lagos were silent, but the country's fate was about to change forever. The plot? Remove President Shehu Shagari from power. The mastermind? Major General Muhammadu Buhari. But what went so wrong that the military decided to step in and bring democracy to a halt? To understand the coup, we have to look back at Nigeria in the early 1980s. After gaining independence in 1960, Nigeria had been through coups, civil war, and military rule. But by 1979, the country returned to democracy with the election of Shehu Shagari, a soft-spoken civilian leader who promised progress. But by 1983, the dream of a stable republic was falling apart. Nigeria's economy, once fueled by oil wealth, was crashing. Oil prices had collapsed. Inflation soared. Jobs disappeared. Corruption ran rampant across government offices. Public trust was crumbling. Still, despite growing frustration, President Shagari won re-election in 1983. But many believed the elections were rigged. The results were marred by violence, ballot stuffing, and political manipulation. The people lost faith, and the military was watching. Behind closed doors, senior military officials began whispering. They believed Nigeria was headed toward collapse, and the politicians were too corrupt to save it. Among those approached was a man known for his discipline, stern demeanor, and no-nonsense attitude, Major General Muhammadu Buhari. With support from other key officers, the plot was set. On the night of December 31st, as most Nigerians slept, the army moved. Radio stations were taken. Government buildings were occupied. Shagari's guards offered no resistance. By morning, Nigeria had a new ruler. The coup was bloodless, but its impact was thunderous. The Second Republic was over. Buhari took the reins as head of state. With Buhari in power, things changed quickly. He launched the War Against Indiscipline, a nationwide campaign to restore order. Civil servants had to be punctual. Queues had to be respected. Students were forced to recite national ethics in schools. It was military order, applied to civilian life. Buhari jailed dozens of politicians from Shagari's administration, accusing them of corruption and economic sabotage. But while some praised his anti-corruption stance, others criticized his approach. Press freedom was crushed. Human rights were violated. Journalists were jailed, and dissent was silenced. To many, Buhari was a necessary force. To others, he was just another authoritarian ruler in military fatigues. But Buhari's rule wouldn't last. In August 1985, just 20 months after the coup, he was overthrown by his own military colleagues. This time, it was General Ibrahim Babangida who took power, accusing Buhari of being too rigid and failing to fix the economy. Buhari was placed under house arrest. His era as a military leader had ended, but his story was far from over. 3 decades later, in a twist of fate, Buhari returned, not through the barrel of a gun, but through the ballot box. In 2015, he became Nigeria's first opposition candidate to defeat a sitting president in a democratic election. The coup leader had become a civilian president. The 1983 coup was more than just a change of government. It was a turning point in Nigeria's political history. It reminded the nation of how fragile democracy could be and how easily the military could return when the people lost faith. Today, the lessons of that era still echo. In every election, in every protest, and in every demand for accountability. Because in Nigeria's story, democracy has always been a journey, not a destination. If you found this story insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. More powerful African and historical stories, from coups and revolutions to legends and leaders, are coming your way. Until next time, keep questioning history and keep telling it.